Hello everybody, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Thursday at 1 o'clock, which means it is time for a Facebook video. See, look at me, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the whole change up when I do what, where, and I've got it. I've almost completely got it. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. All right, let me just be sure that I am transmitillating over here. It appears that I am. I saw my hand wave in the computer screen. So today's card is a fun little number. It's sort of wintry, it's sort of RVing-y, and I just think it's cool. So it has the Trees for Sale die set, or sorry, the Trees for Sale stamp set, which is in the mini catalog. And then it has the Tree Lot dies, which is one of the free with a $100 purchase during celebration. So you can get this through the end of August. Hey, Shirley. And it works perfectly with the Trees for Sale set. And I didn't want this to be a Christmas card, so I pulled out Happiness Abounds and used congratulations and wishing you all the happiness that you can imagine. So I could see this as a card for somebody retiring and headed out on the road or whatever. Hey, Joyce. Hi, Beth. But what makes this a little more fun than it already is that it is a Slimline Easel card. Now, I've seen a few of these. My teammates have been working on them. So I figured I better get on the bandwagon. And this is what I came up with. So we have a pretty little scene. Now, in Mary's world, this young person, this old person, this medium-aged person who really loves pink has already failed because he or she has not moved away from the place where it's snowing or getting ready to snow or really, really cold. But hey, this little person needs to do this little person, and it looks like he or she has a pretty nice little setup. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to tell you straight up, hey Marva, hi Carol, hi Bree, hi Beth. I might have bitten off a little more than I can chew with this card for a video, so I make zero promises about 30 minutes, okay? I just kept decorating and decorating and decorating, and then I was finally like, okay, this is going to look really hard to everybody, and it just isn't, but it's a little fiddly sometimes, so just bear with me and know that you're going to make this card for somebody special, okay? This isn't going to be your, I'm going to make 10 of these and sell them for $1.50. Just throwing that out there. And of course, we can make a slimline easy peasy because we have the new slimline envelopes. This is in soft succulent, which helped me make my decisions about some of my colors. And what's fun is they've got an inner liner that is decorated. All right, so let's get going. You will be tickled silly to know that I have already done a whole bunch. I'm going to even go out on a limb and say almost all of the die cutting that needs to be done, I have already done. Okay, so let's go ahead and get going. The card base itself is the card is 3.5 by 8.5. So I have a piece of soft succulent cardstock that is 8.5 inches long by 7 inches wide. And what I'm going to do is I am first going to score at 3 1/2. So that's half of the distance, and then I'm going to score halfway again, which it turns out is there's 1 inch, sorry, yeah, it's 5 1/4. Do the math. It's half of this distance. My brain just went boop, gone. Okay, so that's it. That is all we need to make a slimline easel card. Thanks everybody, I appreciate you. And then we'll just go ahead and fold once this direction and give it a burnish. And then to make the easel, we're going to fold again in the same direction. Look at that. With 2 folds and some burnishing, I have made an easel card. Boom. All right. So now comes the decorating. We're going to start with a couple of panels of the new Snowflake Vellum, and this is the actual one that has the flocky design, so it's flocked, you can feel it. And what I'm going to do is just adhere this to a pool party mat. And hey Debbie, appreciate you joining. Hey Janie, Barbara, thanks for coming. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use liquid glue, and I'm going to just put a little dab of the liquid glue behind some of these little flock dots, okay, so that it doesn't really show. Because I'm not going to try to figure out where is decorated and so would hide the glue. that's just too much for my brain. So I didn't do it. I just put it behind the vellum, or not vellum, it's flocking. So this is like the flocking on a tree. Anybody have white flocked Christmas trees? Either now, do they even make those still? Maybe they do. My grandparents always had a white flocked tree, and I always thought it was the prettiest darn thing. Now, of course, I want, and I think we even had colored lights on it. Flocked tree with colored lights, and it was very pretty. But now I like natural tree with just white lights, and sometimes I put the ornaments on, and sometimes I don't. Just saying. All right. Okay, gonna do the second one, and these are the panels for the front of the card. So they're gonna go on the easel portion itself, and then on the inside is just basic white, also matted on Pool Party. With, if I have done everything correctly, is already cut and ready to go. But we will see when we get there to whether I have done it correctly. Oops, oops, oops. Is it just a horrible thing if you can see the glue through? Not really. It's going to kind of actually look a little bit like the flocking, but that's, if we can keep it from being ugly, then that would be good. Okay, so there we go. There's the two pieces, and then we'll just adhere these to the front of the card. Gosh, so far so good, right? I'm telling you, this is really, really easy. So what you should take away from this is how much fun the tree lot dies are, and how easy it is to just keep going and going and going and getting a little bit carried away. But you should take away from this how to make a slimline easel card and then decorate however you want with whatever set makes you happy. Okay, so there we go. And done. Now, I hate to disappoint y'all, but on Saturday, I'm probably going to be quitting my demonstratorship, because when I win the $1.02 billion lottery, I probably won't keep, doing Stampin' Up. I'm just throwing that out there. So I hate to disappoint you. I'm already relatively certain I'm going to win. I had a dream. No, I didn't. I didn't have a dream. But if I do win, I promise I will be a demonstrator for at least until the first checks come. Okay, so now I am going to make the trailer for you kind of from scratch, okay? Because I want to show you how we did this. And I only know how to do this because my friend Tara Carpenter, who is one of my teammates, did this the other day. And so I was like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. So I'm going to pull out my little mini, and I'm going to dump out all of my card cuts that I have right here. Maybe I won't lose them. Now, there are two dies that create the little trailer guy, okay? And it's these. This is the one that creates the body, and this is the one that creates the decoration. Now, when I first pulled this out, I was like, that doesn't work, and well, that doesn't work, and so this piece right here, this one die cuts two pieces, and they look like this. And I used polished pink because I really like green and polished pink, and so that's what I did. But you could just let your imagination run wild. Change the color of the base of the trailer, change the color of the decorations, and you're ready to go. But here is the fun little trick that Tara taught me. So let me get my dies out here. Die cutting plate. I need another thingy. Where are you? Where are you? Let's see, I think I'm missing a plate somewhere. Just a second. Well, if I don't have it, I'll have to do it off camera. Well, let's see, die cutting plate. Well, no, this may work. Hang on a second. Okay, so what you do to create this layered trailer is we're going to cut one body in white and one body in black. Okay, and like I said, my friend Tara Carpenter showed us this trick on her video last week, and it's so cool that I copied it shamelessly. Hey, Amy, you're doing better than I am. I usually get the notices that you're live the day after you've been live, so that's cool. Okay, so we have one in white. We're going to do the same again in black. Okay, and oh wait, I have too many little plates right there. That won't work at all. it would not even sort of work. Okay, so here we go. All right, okay. Now let me put aside Mr. Mini Cutter. Hey, Sharon from West Texas, appreciate you joining. You're more than welcome, Tara. It was a great video and a great idea that I shamelessly stole, so I felt like I needed to give you credit for that. Okay, here we go. So what is really going to happen is we're going to layer this like so, but in order to make that work correctly, we're going to do a little surgery here on this trailer. So first I'm going to cut off the wheel, because it may be a white wall, but that's too much white. And then we're going to cut off the hitch and the jack stand. Okay? And then these are going to be adhered like so. But first, but wait, there's more. I am actually going to put a piece of vellum in there. Again, because Tara said to, and it is a great idea. And I'm just going to put that in there to make it look like a window. Like a window. So this is just your basic old vellum. And I'm going to use a couple of dots of liquid glue. And again, it doesn't matter if you can see them because it's going to be totally covered. Like so. Well, totally covered if I cover it correctly. Okay. And then a little more glue around the edges here and in the middle. When I first did this, I was getting myself confused. I was like, oh, I don't need any in the middle. It's already there. No, it isn't. And then you do want to take a second, take a beat, and make sure it lines up straight. And there we have the start of our white trailer. At this point, you can use whatever color of, you know, extra stuff you like. But like I said, this is obviously a young lady, or a lady of my age, which is not young at all, out on the road living her best life. She's probably renovated the interior of this old classic trailer, and it probably looks awesome and looks like farmhouse and all that other stuff. You know, I see those pictures of people who've done that, and I'm like, okay, so let's just fast forward to there you are with your dog, because why would you do this without your dog? And it's raining outside. And yes, of course you can snuggle down and hunker down, but every dog everywhere eventually has to go to the bathroom. And so out you go into the mud. Then you come back into 27 square feet that looks, it's all white and all beautiful and has fur on the sofa and white everywhere. And then he has his muddy feet. Yeah, it's not very practical. It looks really good on Instagram, but it's not really very practical. Okay, so here we go. One more thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some curtains on. Here's a curtain. And I'm going to put a little bit of So Saffron behind it because, well, there's a couple of reasons. The first is I want it to look like somebody's home because that way they don't get robbed. And I'm going to put those trees behind it. And I understand the concept of wide open spaces and an open floor plan, but even if there is another window on the other side, you probably couldn't really see those trees. So I wanted to cover it up. So I did. And I did it with a piece of So Saffron to make it look like the lights were on and somebody was home. As opposed to when the lights are on and nobody's home, which happens a lot. Just saying. All right. So that's going to go like that. But first, wait for it. Wait. Okay, there's a little tiny die in the set, a little tiny one. It is right. It's so little you can't even see it. Right there. And if you look really closely, it embosses little tiny candy canes on. These are curtains. So I have this embossed, and what I am doing, now watch for it. Okay, are you watching? You watching really close? Okay. I'm going to set this in place. I'm not using any glue right there. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of the curtain, like that. Leave it in place. This is why I said it's a little fiddly sometimes, but, you know, take your time. It's all right. You're not in a hurry. You're not going to make 2,000 of these, I'm pretty certain.
So take your time. And then making sure that that curtain is still up at the top of the window, because, you know, you don't want it to look like, oh no, stop it. Okay, fix it quick, Mary, fix it quick, Mary. Okay, we're gonna try that again. Rewind. Okay, put that back. Now, this time I'm not gonna mess with it. If it's good, I'm gonna leave it. But now it's sticking to my fingers. It's sticking to my fingers. Okay, wipe off hands. Wipe off hands. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Hold your breath, everybody. Okay. Now, I'm going to just lay this So Saffron in place, and it's going to capture and sandwich that curtain. So when we turn it over, you have window, you have light behind it, so somebody's home, and you have curtain. And let's go ahead and put its little wreath on right quick. Now, this is not a Christmas wreath, I know, because it's got a bright pink bow. So I'm going to put this little one, there's a die for this. There's no fussy cutting except for cutting off that wheel and jack. There's no fussy cutting. So there's a little evening evergreen wreath and a little tiny bow. I'm telling you, there's too many dies, because it means there's just too many fun things to do to this trailer. And you can spend a lot of time on it. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, so there's our trailer. You now know how to make a trailer using the tree lot dies. Please notice there was no stamping involved in that trailer at all. All right, let's put that over there before I lose him. Now, the next couple of things do require some stamping. I have created some light poles because even though she is not selling trees, she does want light. I think she's going to be there for a little while, so she wants some poles and some lights. And I cut out 3 of the light strands. So I stamped these in soft suede, pole, and light strands, and cut them out with the matching dies in the set. And before I get going, I'm going to go ahead and color these, because obviously she would have polished pink lights. Hello. And I'm telling you, RVers do string lights. They do. Now, all of their neighbors don't always love their string lights being up, but, you know, it's all about doing you, right? Okay. I may not need all of them, but they're there in case I do. Also, we need some trees. And I made a lot of trees because they were kind of fun. A little fiddly, not gonna lie, but fun. I made 9 trees, sticking always with my odd numbers of things. I'm glad you have it too, Carol. She's Karen. And let's see. So I have 9 trees. There are 3 trees in the dies. You get a large, a medium, and a small. There's a solid one, and then a matching detailed one. So here's what I did, and I'll show you it. How is that for some grammar? I took a piece of the new glimmer paper from the Real Red and White glimmer paper in the July to December catalog. I put some adhesive sheet behind it, and then I cut out 9 of the details. Okay, here's the fiddly part. You have 2 ways to do this. What you're trying to do is adhere the detailed part to the solid part. When I made the first card, I used liquid glue, and I am pretty comfortable with liquid glue, and so that was easy, but I figured I better, mix it up just a little bit. So I pulled out the adhesive sheets. When I ran this through, I ran it back and forth a couple of times because the glimmer paper is a little thick, and then you add the adhesive sheet. If I'm very lucky right here, what will happen is I'll be able to pull just the glimmer paper off like that, leave the backer in. If it doesn't hurt. You can still poke out the little extra pieces and peel the backer off really easy, but this actually makes it a little bit easier. The only hard part is all your little hanging chads are sticky. So, there's that. You have to decide what's the best way. And after you've made 9 of them, I promise you'll have figured out how you like to do it better. Whether you want to try it with liquid glue, highly recommend you try that once. Just be really, really skosh with the liquid glue. Or whether you want to do it like this, or whether you want to try to poke it out of the paper, get all the chads out, and then pull the backer off. So many options, so little time. All you really want to do is figure out how to cut these little do guys from the white glimmer paper and get them on your tree. I have 3 trees. 3 of them are evening evergreen, 3 of them are soft suede, soft succulent, and 3 of them are mint macaron. All right. Now, if you were making an easel card that was not slimline, okay, so not long, you probably wouldn't need this many trees. But I figured if I didn't make this many trees, everything was going to be kind of clustered together and it wasn't going to look very good. So I made the extra. I started with just 6, and then I realized I needed another grouping, so I added them in. Okay. Okay, side. So now we have 9 trees, 3 poles, 3 lights, and a trailer. Duh. And, also, I actually also did our sentiment. So this is from Happiness Abounds in polished pink on a piece of basic white, and I will cut it when we get it all put together. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to assemblize. So what I discovered helps is to take a block, because I do like to get the crease in, but take a block and set it down so that your card base stays flat. Okay, like that. It'll just make it a little easier as you're going along, like so. And then you can kind of decorate your card and see how things are all going to go. You can do however you like, and and just arrange it. What you want to remember is you want to adhere everything to this bottom half of the flap. You don't want anything adhered to the top portion so that when you put it in the easel, it will stand up like so. If you adhere it to the back, you're going to change the entire dynamic of the card. Okay? So everything needs to start down here like so. And we'll just kind of lay them out and see what we like. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it's paper and cardstock, and let's not get too head up about things, right? Okay. This guy's going to be out here. Put this a little bit further out to kind of space it out a little bit, like so. And then we'll put another one over here. Let's see. Let's see. I think we're going to want to put another one. Maybe I won't use all of them. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put those like that, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere those first, and then I will add the poles in. Okay, because it's easier to do this if everything is kind of holding still. So to do this. Thanks, Marva. I appreciate that. Hey, Stephanie. Appreciate you coming. And I'm just putting glue on the bottom portion of my trees and then setting them back in place. Okay. Try to make them straight. I mean, I do know that trees bend over sometimes, but let's try to make them straight as if they haven't just been. Speaking of hail, we weren't, I know, but I just thought of it. Did you guys see in Estes Park, Colorado overnight, they had like 5-inch wide, like softball size hail. They got almost a foot of it, a foot of hail. My mom sent a picture and it looked like it had snowed, but it was hail. Crazy. And they sent out a warning. The National Weather Service sent out a warning that said apple-sized hail expected. Protect your livestock and your equipment. Livestock will be injured. People will be injured or killed. It's like that would be wrath of God hail right there. My goodness. Thank you, Carol. All right, so we're just adhering. And the glimmer paper takes the glue pretty good, but you do want to give it just a few minutes, which is another good reason to adhere the trees at first, and then you can kind of play from there. Okay, one more little set of trees, like so. And you absolutely do want them above the fold, right? Because that's how they stand up when your recipient sets it on his or her mantle, which I'm certain they would do because that's so beautiful. Okay. All right. So those are done. Now, y'all just gird your loins, take a deep breath, settle in, because this next part is persnickety. Not even going to lie. Nothing has been persnickety so far, I promise you, okay? But this next part kind of is, because we're going to put in our poles and our light strings, okay? So our poles are going to go like that. They're going to go like this. And I'm going to cut them off about there, because they're going to be hidden behind the trailer and the sentiment, okay? So let's go ahead and adhere those. Remember, only from here down. Do not adhere the tops, or you really are going to change everything. And it may not be in a way that you want. May not be what you wanted. Okay? Like so. And like so. And then let's do like so. Now this one will take a second to dry because it's got a lot of trees to adhere to. Let me give that a little bit better. So I'm just going to hold it in place for a second until it thinks about what it needs to do. Dun 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 dun. Oh, see? Dun 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 dun. See, when you start to be a smart aleck? Yeah. Okay, so now what's going to happen is we're going to string these lights from pole to pole, and you can do however makes you happy. Okay, just saying. And if you cut 3, it gives you a lot more options. So I'm going to do right there like that. And I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the top of this pole. Now, if this makes you shudder to even think about doing this, just leave the lights off. Just leave the lights off. Okay, it'll be just fine even without them. I mean, I think it's pretty cute, but leave them off. It will be fine. Okay, then I'm going to snip that off right there like that and adhere it with another little bit of liquid glue. What we're going to do is we're going to get this all glued, and then I'm going to set it aside. We're going to make the insides, and when we come back, it will all be ready to go. All right, now I'm going to go from here to here, so I'm just going to cut right there. Put a little bit of glue up here. Just a little bit of glue. A little bit of glue. And we're going to put it on. Do you think it's really this hard to string lights? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. I think it could be, really. Okay, holding it down just a second so it can think about being adhered. And we'll go ahead. I'm going to leave that for now. I'll cut it later if I need it. Now look, I think this might fit. This last piece might fit. Oh, it does. Look, see, I didn't even need that last piece, but I had it in case I needed it. Better to be ready and not need it than need it and have to cut it and do all that other stuff. While you guys are like, gosh, Stephanie's going, I wonder how long she actually thinks my lunch period is. Okay. And then we'll put it right there like that. Actually, if I had my place, if I was RVing and I had a spot set up like this, I might even stay if it snowed once. I might. You don't know. It could happen. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to adhere. Actually, I'm going to wait a second. I'm going to let that glue dry. Let's do the inside, shall we? Let's do the inside. Now, this is just a piece of white with a pool party mat. And I'm going to stamp some of the cute trees from the Trees for Sale set. And we're going to do them in Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen, one of my favorite color combinations of all time. I'm just saying, forever and ever, amen. I'm going to use the large one, the large detailed die. I'm going to stamp, and I'm going to go right kind of in the middle. And I think I'll do a second one like that. We'll come down on this one. Okay. And then these are the cutest little stamps. I love these trees. These could be one of my favorite tree images ever. Really, really cute. Put him right here like so. And I'm having such fun with it. I think I'm going to come down here and do one like that. Like so. Yes. Okay. Yes, I know that's an even number. Rules are meant to be broken. I'm just saying. Okay. Now, I'm going to stamp over the top in Soft Succulent. Going to get, I don't know what I got right there. A little bit of glue dot somehow. So let me get that off before I have, oops, making the table jiggle. Sorry. Okay, now we have the solid images that go along with those. I'm going to stamp over the top in Soft Succulent. Don't use Soft Suede like I said earlier because that is not the color. You can see it's easy to line it up because I did the dark color first. All right, aren't those so cute? And in fact, if you wanted them to be snowy trees, you could just do just the detailed one and you would have the impression of snowy covered trees. Right? Okay, so there's the large one done. And here is this is actually the medium tree. I'm going to do the same with him. And, like a shoe. So a little tree lot. And did you guys notice the highly adorable and extremely cute dog? Well, he also has a die. So what I did is I stamped him in Soft Suede and cut him out with his die. And he's around here somewhere. There he is. So he is stamped in Soft Suede. And then I'm going to take my light Soft Suede Stampin' Blend and I'm going to touch up his nose, touch up his ear, give him a little eyeball right there. I may use the dark one for that. And give him some darker leg in the back and a darker belly like that. All right, you know what? Let me pull out that dark Soft Suede and give him an eyeball. Eyeballs are good. There we go. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on him so he will be prepared for his starring role in the inside of the card. And I have a piece, Sentiment from Happiness Abounds that I cut out with with the smallest of the fatter dies in the Stitched Rectangles die set. And that's going to be my easel stop. So I'm going to get a little bit busy with the dimensionals here. Hey, Beth, I'm glad you were able to get it too. Yay! And I love that the dies are free. I mean, I don't know what your favorite price is, but my favorite price is free. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere this to our pool party mat with my liquid glue that is hiding. All right, so we'll get a little bit of liquid glue on here. That's a long drink of water right there. Okay. Okay, now I'm not going to adhere those things to the other two pieces to it until I have worked on my card. So let's go ahead and see if these are kind of getting good. Yeah, they're good. They're getting there. Okay. Got to have some patience, people. Got to have some patience. All right. So we'll go ahead and put this. You might think it's easier to put this on before you decorate the front. I don't like to do things the easy way. I prefer to make it as hard as possible. So don't be me. If it seems easier to you to put that on the inside of this card first, then I would absolutely do that. Just because I'm doing it the hard way doesn't mean smarter people than I could do it different. Okay, so basically when you're making an easel card, you want to determine how high you want the easel to stand. And I kind of like right there like that. So I'm going to adhere this with the dimensionals right there in the center of the card. Like so. And you just kind of want it centered, and you can kind of set it down and just make sure that it's centered and straight and is making your easel the way you want. So there you go. And then we'll pop Mr. Dogman. Pop Mr. Dogman, Mr. Dogman. Oh, Mr. Dogman, if you would like to join us, we'll put you right there, like so. And there's even little dog print, but I did not use them. Okay, so last thing for us to do here is adhere our trailer. And our trailer is going to go right here, which makes perfect sense. And then our sentiment is going to go out here. So I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. He doesn't need to be quite that long, but I wanted to be sure I had it as long as I needed before I cut it down, right? Okay. Now, before I do that, let me cut that off right there, because I don't want it to show. Could it show? Sure, but I don't want it to show, so I'm not going to let it show. I'm not letting it show. And then I'll put some glue here. And that's still got a little wiggle to it, so, you know, don't get too excited yet. Put that right there. Try to make it as straight as we can. Hold it down a second. When you're adhering to glimmer, you got to give it a minute to dry, because it does take a little extra time, okay? All right, see, I told you it was going to be a little longer than normal today. I'm sorry, but we're getting very close. We're very, very close to being almost done. And then I'm going to use glue on the trailer as well. There we go, like so. Give it a little hold, give it a little hold, give it a little hold. Okay, now I've got a couple of little 2021-22 opal rounds in Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to adhere one to the sentiment. And you know, my sample didn't need it, but this one is wanting a dimensional right there, so we're going to stick a dimensional under to give it just another little something something to hold it down. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to add one of these as well to the inside sentiment. Right there. And then I'm going to take away that dimensional cover that wanted to do its thing. And there you have a Slimline Easel card, all decorated and gorgeous. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp some of the trees on the front of my soft succulent envelope, and it will be Dunske. Will be a Dunske, I says to you. Here's my my little, I don't know what to call this now because my brain just lost it. No, my detailed tree. So I'm just going to do a couple of little trees like so. And close this up. And then I thought it would be fun, because I'm all about the fun. You know me, fun and me just goes together like, I don't know, macaroni and cheese. I'm going to stamp this little dog right there, like that. We'll color him in just a second. I'll put my trees over the top. The cool thing is I do not even have to decorate the flap because it's already decorated. Take a little bit of soft succulent over the top of the tree, and I think I will add a small tree there. Like that. Let's go ahead and stamp the small tree. Small tree. Oh, small tree. Where did you go, small tree? That's large tree. There's small tree. Small tree was hidden on the back of large tree. Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Beth. They're kind of fun. I never really did a lot of slimline cards. I mean, I still don't do a lot of them, but I kind of shied away from them because of the whole envelope problem. For me, an envelope is necessary. And so, until we had the slimlines, I was like, yeah, no, But now with the slimlines, you're good to go. Now, I am going to show you a little something, a trick here. Color this dog. It's got to be the same dog as on the inside. Okay, it might be a little different than the guy on the inside. Eyeball. Okay, there we go. Now, here's what I want you to do. When you get ready to put your card in your envelope, obviously it fits because you were very careful to not go above the top. Take a piece of vellum like so and lay it like that. That will help all those little pieces stay down where they go. And then you can slide it right in like so. Okay? All right, guys, I appreciate you being patient with me. This was a little longer than usual, but I hope you've liked the card, and I hope you will give a Slimline Easel a shot. Whether you use the tree dies or not, that's up to you, but now you know how to decorate a Slimline envelope easel. All right? Slimline envelope easel, that's not even a thing. Slimline easel card. All right, I hope I'll see you on Saturday for YouTube. Enjoy the rest of your week and the start of your weekend. Thanks so much, everybody. Ta.